this is our beauty and aesthetics seminar. It's based mostly actually on things that are going on inside you. So this is not a skincare, makeup kind of seminar. It's all about what's going on in you. So as always, there's 4 pillars. We work from the pillars, and I've broken these down into the effects of your gut health. I've gone with gut health first because actually what we're eating and how we're digesting it tends to have the biggest impact. The effects of dehydration, effects of superfoods. I'm going to tell you some of those and how I work them into my day. And that's only actually since I started doing this research. It wasn't what I was doing beforehand. I've tried them out, some have worked, some haven't, so I've got some tips for you. And then the effects of sleep, stress and exercise. You'll find that actually if you've been to seminars before or you generally follow Kyle or me on Instagram or whatever, a lot of the same things come up because they holistically impact your health. So telling you that you need to sleep 8 hours is going to make you look good. It won't be surprising information because you guys, like especially you here, will know that already. So to begin with, look at my little dog poop. We're going to talk about poop. We're not really going to talk a lot about it, we're going to talk a little bit about it. We are going to talk about your gut. Now, your gut's broken down into several sections. I'm going to get to that in a second. I don't want you to get too excited because I've got some good facts for you. I don't want you to read ahead. It's broken down into different sections. You've got your mouth. First of all, that's where it goes in. I always end up talking about Matt because it's relevant. I'm not going to talk about his poop, but Matt loves food. He loves food. He loves food more than me. That's saying something. And because he loves food more than me, he eats really, really quickly. And about 3 or 4 years ago, he ended up getting a really bad case of acid reflux and has had that since. And it actually was born out of, he thinks, a really big Christmas and eating loads of grub and eating really quickly. That is the one thing he always says. When I say to him, oh God, like you with acid reflux, whatever, he will say, yeah, or when he's telling people, say, it's because I eat too quick. And there's truth in that, and I am going to get to that in a minute with the book. So the first thing is sort of how you're taking the food in, actually slowing down, taking the time to eat slower, not eat on the go. Think about what you're eating as you're eating it is the first step. You're then going into your stomach. When it gets to your stomach, I'm at the book time. My guy, David Wolf. When it gets into your stomach, what you've got in your stomach is basically a load of, and I want to say the right thing here now, hydrochloric acid. You've got loads of it in your stomach. Now, you'll know how much you've got in your stomach based on how big your cuticles are. Now, Eloise does a very good job with my cuticles, so they're non-existent because she cuts them down. However, if you haven't had a manicure, or if you look at your cuticles, you can actually tell if your cuticles are large and crescent moon shaped, then you have a good amount of hydrochloric acid in your stomach. If they're not crescent moon shaped, that's what I'm going to look. She's like, I've cut mine already, guys. If they're not crescent moon shaped and they're not quite large, if they're non-existent, you don't have enough hydrochloric acid in your stomach. Now, what that means is, when you take the food in, what's happening is your body is using hydrochloric acid to try and break down that food. If your stomach is twisting and turning because it hasn't got enough hydrochloric acid in order to break down your food, as it twists and turns, it creates gas, IBS. It also opens the valve into your esophagus, don't get too deep on the anatomy with me, and that gives you acid reflux. So it's because you don't have enough hydrochloric acid in order for you to break down your food in the natural way. And you can literally tell that by looking at fingernails. And also you can go to the doctor and ask them to do tests on it and things like that in a more technical way. Now, in order to put that hydrochloric acid in, you can actually do a couple of things. You can try drinking lemon water throughout the day. So you literally get like half lemon, squeeze it into water. Ideally, you don't want it to be freezing cold water. You want it to be about room temperature. You can take apple cider vinegar in supplements, so you can just take like one of those gummies in the morning, or you can have it as a tablet. I think Kyle actually pours it into water. Matt does this when he's really struggling with his acid reflux, because you're basically giving your body more acid to help it digest the food in a natural, less strenuous, bloated, gassy, struggling kind of way. And if we'll get on to the next bit of saltwater flush in a minute. So those are two things that you can do to kind of get it moving in the first place through your stomach. And I'll get on to how this impacts what you look like in a minute.
I just put in the point there. When you've got an itis hernia, you can't do that.
When you've what?
An itis hernia, you can't do it.
Okay. If you've got a hernia, don't do it. I'm not Dr. Pibbs. I'm giving you generalised information. As well as that, these are they're non-invasive things. So in terms of that, is probably totally true, I'm not saying it's not, but squeezing some lemon juice into your water is largely not much more than you would do if you went to the pub anyway. Like if you went to the pub and they gave you a glass of water, you would have lemon water. I'm not saying like get 6 lemons, load of chuckle, make some fresh lemonade. So yeah, err on the side of caution, but generally as long as you're not going too deep into it, you'll probably be okay. So you can't have that too much. I mean, to be honest, Alan, if you can avoid having that, I wouldn't recommend it anyway because it tastes not great. Matt should have it, doesn't have it. As well as that, lemon water throughout the day, apple cider vinegar, probably best in the morning, once a day. So we move then on. If everything's moving in your stomach and it's all moved on the way that it should, obviously the way that this impacts your beauty or you aesthetically is if you struggle with IBS and you are struggling with bloating and with gas, that affects the way that you look physically, doesn't it? Because you might be bloated a lot of the time and you might absolutely kill it at the gym and be like, oh my God, why do I get halfway through the day and I'm really bloated? And that might have a little bit to do with it. Okay, so we're moving on, we're in the colon. We're getting down to the poo. So if you have fewer than 3 or 4 bowel movements a day, now this blew my mind as well. This is why I didn't want to move on to here straight away, because I knew you'd all be like, WTF. If you have fewer than 3 or 4 bowel movements a day, then you are officially considered constipated. Now, NHS guidelines go for like 1 and 2 is good. I'm not going to be too much of a conspiracy theorist, but there's a lot of funding and people who are, know each other who are, let's say, palling with companies who really want to sell things that are full of wheat and full of sugar and all of the other things that generally keep you in that constipated state. And if they made us all aware that actually you need to be doing it 4 times a day, you'd be going, why am I not? I need to change something. And they don't really, I suspect that they don't really want us to feel this way. But 3 to 4. Now the reason why is, we were just reading in the book just then, your colon, or your intestines, your digestive tract, runs about the height of your body. So it's about 6 foot. And at any one time, if you are not 3 or 4 times a day, you could have up to 12 kilograms of stuff in you that is just very, very slowly moving through. And what impact does this have on what you look like? Well, you're probably going to be bloated. It can lead to inflammation, IBS. The sluggishness means that your digestive system is operating very, very slowly. So you might put all of these incredible foods in your body. You might be eating 5 fruit and veg a day. You're putting it all in and it gets to your digestive tract and it's going, and your body's struggling to just get stuff through. It isn't bothered or concerned with getting those nutrients where they want to be. And in addition to that, this whole process is going to make you feel tired. And feeling tired makes you look tired, and that affects your aesthetics too. So it can lead to vitamin and mineral deficiencies because they're not being put where you want. You might be putting them in, but it doesn't mean they're being used. Tiredness, tired and dull looking skin, breaking nails and hair, and bloating. In order to move these things through, we can do something called a saltwater flush. And I tried it and it did work without giving too much detail. Now, saltwater flush is, and I'm going to give you the actual recipe, and I can give you this later as well, but I need you to be able to write it down. So this comes from my guy David Wolf. 1 to 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. You go with lime if you prefer it. 8 to 10 ounces of spring water, basically like just under a pint of spring water, gently heated. You don't, again, you just want it about room temperature. And 2 teaspoons of sea salt. It's important that it's sea salt. If it's completely white, it's not sea salt. If it's got that kind of pinkishness to it, that's your sea salt. So you're popping that in the morning before anything else, and don't plan to go anywhere. Now, all these things move through, you're then feeling less sluggish, you're likely to be less bloated, things are moving through, the vitamins and minerals that you're putting into your body are more likely to get where they need to be, you're going to feel more awake. And that's quite an easy thing to do. The other thing that you can do is you can increase your fibre. So, this is a tricky subject because I'll say to Eloise, can I bring you up? I'll say to Eloise, you need to increase fibre. The first thing I always think of is broccoli. She's like, no good for my IBS. So it is personal to what does and doesn't work for you. But increasing your fibre will help things move along. Having too much fibre will slow things down. So working out what works for you. But easy fixes like drinking a bit of lemon water through the day, taking an apple cider vinegar supplement or having it in the morning if it works for you, or doing a saltwater flush to get things going in the first place when you know where to be on a Sunday afternoon. Actually, they're quite easy things that might just give you a little helping hand. And I deliberately picked those. There's a load of complicated stuff with complex ingredients and recommendations, and I'm like, well, who's that? I don't even know where I'd buy that stuff. So I've deliberately got the things that are really accessible. Exercises which twist and stretch your torso. Anything like this, where your body and your obliques are twisting, is the right kind of thing, because naturally, I'm moving my body in a way that it doesn't just move when I'm walking around town. I'm actually encouraging it to twist and move and get things going, okay? So you get the idea, So this is all really, really impacting, and the reason it's first on here is because the research that I looked at, not just with David, but when I then looked further into it, this stuff just hanging around inside of you is not making you look great, it isn't, and it's the biggest impact. Then, dehydration, and this won't be new info for you in terms of needing to drink water, but here's some of the impact that it has on your beauty and aesthetics. So, this was actually on the website, I didn't pull it, raisin face, okay. So dehydration, it causes your skin cells to shrivel. Your skin is automatically more dehydrated with age because your skin naturally loses its elasticity over time, which means that the water can't get into the cells. So naturally, just because we're all getting older, at whatever age we're at, your cells are getting less elastic, so the water struggles to get in, and that's it. When you're dehydrated, your vital organs are the priority. Now, this is really important. Say, for example, you're having about 1 litre a day, and I said there that the ideal amount is about 3. If you're having about 1 litre a day, or less than 1 litre of water a day, your body does not care about your skin. It cares that your water needs to be in your kidneys, in your liver. Like it needs to be transporting blood around your body, helping to transport blood around your body. It needs to do important stuff. The skin, see you later, it's not interesting. So if you're having 1 litre a day, your skin is constantly dehydrated. Especially your connective tissue, which is your collagen, that's the bottom of the list, and when collagen is not hydrated, it cracks and that causes wrinkles. So if you're not having more than 1 litre of water a day, yeah, you might feel fine because your body's operating and it's okay, but there's not a hope in hell that your skin is going to be hydrated. And it's not just about drinking water today because you want to look good tomorrow because you're going on a night out. It's about not having it crack and wrinkle over time. So there we go. The answer to that, 3 litres of water a day is ideal. Electrolytes to help you hold on to that water as well. You two looking at each other, giving each other grief. for the maximum effect. Next, food. Again, there is all kinds of things out there. We've got like aloe vera and is it acai? Oh, yeah, loads of different greens and like types of seaweed, complicated stuff that I don't know where to buy. And I thought, what legit, I want to do something that I can just add into my day now. What can I do? What will you guys be able to just literally go home and you'll have on the shelf, or you'll know where to buy it in Aldi? So I deliberately kept it more simple. So I broke them down into, these are the main ones that if you can just add them in, I'll show you how I've done it in a day. If you can just add a little bit of that in, it doesn't have to be every single day, but when was the last time that you, and this is probably top of the list and that's why I put it at the top of the list, when was the last time that you had some avocado, or there's your lemon water, that's an easy way to get it in. When was the last time I had turmeric tea? I don't often, unless I'm cooking a stir fry or a curry, I wouldn't automatically put turmeric in it. And because I cook with Matt, he isn't a fan of it, so I wouldn't get it in any other way. However, pucker tea, I do a turmeric tea, it's really inoffensive. I have like one of those, let's say, every other day. Easy way to get it in. Egg whites, I don't bother separating them, I just eat eggs. Red foods are really good antioxidants, they reduce inflammation and that helps with your gut health and a load of other benefits as well. Obviously got water at the bottom. So, quick facts. Avo, it's good fats, and the good fats, similar to olive oil, they're giving you the glossiness, the shining hair, the gloaty skin, the suppleness of your movement. It gives you that, there's lots of chemicals in it that are giving you, lots of minerals in it, sorry, that are giving you that bright-eyed, bushy-tailed appearance. It improves your skin shield and your absorption of minerals. And then honey, which I've only actually introduced, I had honey recently. I was like, God, I really like honey, and I just it's not ever really been a go-to for me unless I've been poorly. And I had it and I was like, oh, I like it. It helps with melatonin production. This helps with sleep. This helps with sleep, which I'm going to get onto in a moment. This is a fun fact. Honeycomb, when it's knocking about wherever it is, you know, bees and hives and all that, it literally draws in water from the air. So as well as having lots of other health benefits, honey's really, really hydrated. It's like packed full of water gram per gram. So there you go, fun facts. This is just a quick one. I don't want to get too far into the nitty gritty. The information, this is not me, the info basically says, if you want to look good, either get rid of it or reduce it as much as you can. This is like modern meats like in cereals and things like that. Obviously deep fried food like your deep fried chicken, things like that, the oils, it's too excessive in the wrong type of oil that's going straight to your skin. Excessive amounts of meat and dairy, mostly because we struggle to break them down. Again, your gut's struggling, then things slow down, it hangs around in you, you blow it, you're not getting your minerals in, you're feeling sluggish, you're not feeling it your best. Sugar, I mean, bakery, so I'm not going to say too much about that, but sugar, it does impact your skin, and alcohol, a whole host of reasons, of course, for your health. This one, personal one for me with alcohol, took it out so that I could reduce it, now do it when I feel like, not that often. If I'm going in on more than twice a month, that would be a bit too much for me. Once a month is, I would say, would probably be my happy state. I'll get back to you in January after Christmas. But obviously, I'm not saying like to stack all these things up. This is a lot of fun stuff, but having an awareness that ultimately it is impacting the way that we look. So this is the day that I tried. So an easy way of doing a few of these things, some options on the board, and they also lean into following a lot of the processes that we have in the gym, a lot of programs we have in the gym, which are getting enough protein in, having enough other minerals, and not going too high calorie. That was quite important for me. I didn't want to be like, yeah, I'm going to eat all this fantastic food, but I'm going to have 3,000 calories a day, because it doesn't suit where I'm at with my programming. So there's lemon water first thing in the morning. I've been pretty good with doing that because I'll just have it. I've actually put that in. I got one of those. I think I got it with you and Kimmy actually. Do you know that little glass jar kind of thing with the plug on top?
Yeah.
In IKEA, you know the one. So I actually make my lemon water in one go because every morning picking them seeds out at 5 AM or whatever it is and cutting up a lemon and faffing them out, I would never do it. So I just get you could do it with a jug. I just do it all in one go and I leave it on the side. I don't put it in the fridge because it would be too cold. Or you could do it and then I've got water in, whatever you want to do. I make it in one go and then once I'm waiting for my coffee to brew, drink the water, job's done, it's the first thing I have. Go on.
I dehydrate lemon and use it in that way.
Ooh! Well, you just leave it out?
No, I did dehydrate it and then I'll
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have a machine at home that dehydrates fruits and
dries it out and then basically you put it into either
water.
into water, whether cold or warm, but I normally add ginger as well.
Nice, I like ginger, I'm here for it. I didn't know you can dehydrate fruit yourself.
Yeah.
He does it all the time.
No idea. Well that would basically, that would do the same thing for us, yeah, that'd be great. This one, I faffed around with a few breakfasts. And what I ultimately ended up with was this. It includes enough of the things I wanted, so you've got your egg whites, but I just do the eggs as they are. I wanted the lemon water, I got rid of the GMO wheat, and I went with wholemeal toast, and I went for about a quarter avocado, which is only really about 70 calories. And I deliberately picked this because it was quick. Now I knew this would be important because if you're trying to go from rushing out the door and you normally, before this I was having like protein nuggets for breakfast, I want something that's speedy. Now, in the time that the toast takes to toast, I did everything else. So I don't want to teach you literally how to suck eggs, but if it's important to you to be able to be quick in the morning, the toast goes in, I put 2 eggs in a little jug, I whisk them, I whip them into my little scrambled egg pan, which is a nice little cube lumper from Amazon. They're going. You could pre-cut your avo if you wanted to, but literally I'm like, slice round it, whack, get the pip out, I cut half, I dice it into thingy, and then the toast comes out. It comes out, I put it on, I personally like a little bit of lemon on my avocado, I squeeze it on, and then I take the scrambled eggs out and go on top, and that is 5 minutes. It's probably less. It's probably like 3.5. It takes me about 10 minutes to make the whole thing, eat it, and put the stuff in the dishwasher. If you are not a fan of avocado, the same applies to scrambled eggs, and generally, a general no, a non-sweet breakfast is best for you in terms of hormones, spiking your insulin, setting you off like, yes, boom, let's go in the morning, and then dropping off a cliff. Actually, something that isn't sweet is probably a very good go-to. You could trade that out and have meat with it, or egg sausages, or whatever you want to have instead, if you didn't want to have the avocado. Obviously you wouldn't get the fats, but you could cook the meat in olive oil and then you would get the fats. And sometimes it is good to just go with olive oil, take the calories, 40, 50 calories, and not do the fry light because you're going to get your fats in. Lunch. I've actually been having Linda McCartney sausages, and I don't know if you've ever had them, they are nice, because me and Matt have been trying to eat a little bit less meat. If you're in for the protein, sausages, whole grain rice, so again, not having something that's dense in wheat, like pasta or bread, for example. Stir-fried with veg, which I cooked in olive oil, and I went for some red veg, so red onion and red pepper for antioxidants. Snacks, nice and easy. Green yogurt with the honey. Please, if you are going to try the honey thing, I would recommend going organic. It is a little bit more expensive, but I mean, honey lasts it lasts forever, doesn't it? It lasts, yeah, so I would recommend investing in it. Local honey, if you really want to get into it, is the best because it's creative. Don't get me into the bees, I don't really know that much about it, but they're around us. If you get local honey, even better. I might have some dark chocolate, strawberries, blueberries, and option 3. Oats, I love this one, this one's my fave. If I'm starving after the gym, I usually have this one in the evening. Oats, cinnamon, dark chocolate, and honey, or a combination of like peanut butter instead or whatever. So there's some options. I can send them to you if you want them. If you want other options, if you don't like those kind of foods, I can give you alternatives too. Finally, sleep, stress and exercise. So twisting and stretching to get your gut moving. So this is the exercise section. Reduce impact. Inspiring to the people who've been running this morning. I checked out a few because I was thinking, you know, I didn't want this to be true. Alan actually messaged me the other day, so he's prepared for what's coming on. He's just like, don't tell him. I actually don't want this to be true because when I'm doing hitbox, this is happening all the time. Bang, 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 and I love hitbox. So I didn't want it to be true. Unfortunately, there were lots and lots and lots of studies that say that it is, because every single time you thud, 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 face, 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 body, body, body. Gravity is going against us, it's literally that. There are a few things you can do. Alan and I were actually talking about this the other day, and I looked it up after you said it. Deliberately hydrating before you run, deliberately moisturising afterwards will help. Especially if you're going out and changing weather. So at this time of year, when you've gone from central heating to outside in the cold, that change in your skin, just generally going outside as it is, but also while you're running and putting stress on your skin and your body, just using a good moisturiser whilst you do that, good for you. A really big one that a lot of different sources said was, just don't thud up and down the pavement. So, do you know like when you come to like a road end and then you go off the curb and on the curb and off the curb and on the curb, and especially terrace streets around here where you like bomb, bomb, bomb every second, either running at the side of the road or taking a route that doesn't have you do that, that reduction in that type of impact, well, it's better than not doing anything. Obviously there are loads of health benefits to running as well, so, and that will make you look fantastic in other ways. So this is literally just in terms of your skin really. And then your posture, obviously that's a beauty and aesthetics thing. It's how you aesthetically look. If you're walking around like this all the time, you're not going to look your true best confident self. So to improve your posture, focus and flow, but you can cat-cow plank and shoulder stretch, and that's this bad boy here. Switching over and just lift the whole body up a little bit as well. Sleep. Poor sleep raises your cortisol. Cortisol triggers inflammation, which breaks down the proteins that help the skin be smooth and glow. So get the sleep so you don't have cortisol, so that your skin can do all of the things that you want it to do with all the nutrients that you're bothering to give it. Don't bother doing all the food stuff and then sleep 2 hours a night. You need to really be blunt. In an ideal world, we need to give it all. Poor sleep is those dark eyes, like people say, I've got bags under my eyes, etc. Less glossy skin and hair. Your skin's going to appear less transparent with a lack of elasticity and aggravate any wrinkles or production of them. So, you know this stuff, that's why I kept it brief with sleep. That's why it's called beauty sleep. Poor sleep increases dehydration. If you slept bad, drink 3 litres of water that next day as a guarantee. It will help your energy anyway, but it will help alleviate any dehydration that you've incurred from not sleeping well. Stress is, again, I'm always on about the stress. Your cells renew every 28 days, but this slows down as you age. So it's 28 days for someone who's about my age. It slows down, it's not like getting a day longer like every year or anything dramatic like that, but it is slowing down. And if you are stressed, it slows down more. Now stay with me. So that's first point. Second point, and I'm going to put them together. Cells that produce, does anyone know how to say this? Sebum. Is it sebum? Sebum. Sebum. That's what I was going to say, but I thought, I say sebum, and they're going to like, she's talking about a bum again. Right, cells that produce sebum have receptors for stress hormones. More stress causes more sebum, but put that with your now slower changing skin, and boom, those dead skin cells on the surface of your skin with the sebum together, boom, you've got acne. And that's a huge cause of acne, in addition to the stuff going on with your gut. So don't be stressed, please. Stress shortens your DNA strands as well and damages them, which leads to rapid aging. And studies show that one stressful event experienced in the 24 hours before you eat can slow down your metabolism, and that leads to you burning fewer calories. And obviously, that affects us aesthetically as well. So what can you do about stress? Obviously, we've got a stress seminar before, so I'll just go over it briefly. Yoga, meditation, journaling, go for a massage. Walk, connect with your friends, just chat to somebody can make you feel less stressed, or unplug. So if you are somebody triggered by social media, then you might unplug for a little bit and take a break. So that actually is the end of our beauty and aesthetics seminar. The biggest things I would say as takeaways are, if you could pick even just one thing from this food list, that would be an improvement. It is not about, and you'll notice that when I gave you the idea of what I do with the food day, I try to do the cinnamon with the oats, I might have turmeric tea, 1 week I might buy blueberries, then I might not buy any for 3 weeks, I try and have the lemon water, I like avo, I'm alright with honey, but I'm not doing every single one of those every single day, because you won't have enough calories enough to do anything else. So if you can just pick one or think, actually, I've got that at home, or I like that food, I could have that as a snack, or I could introduce that with that other thing, like put the blueberries in your porridge, or put the dark chocolate in your porridge, or have the lemon in the water. If you can introduce any of those, then that would be a benefit. If you can do one thing this week that will reduce your stress, brilliant. If you can have 1 glass of water more tomorrow, even better. It is not about doing 100 of these things all in one go tomorrow. It's just a little bit at a time, do what you can. And as well as looking even more beautiful than you do now, you'll probably feel a lot better too. And that's that. Thanks guys. That's it. Have you got any questions?
On your food list, I do all of them apart from the dark chocolate daily.
On your food, you do all of them every day?
Every day. With the exception of avocados.
See, I was never big on avocado, but people in Australia love it. And when I went to Australia, you can't really go anywhere for breakfast. They put it on like a full English, it's so weird. And then I kind of just got into it. So I think it is a bit of a grower. If you can persist with it. You know, like when I was younger, I never liked olives, and then now I love them. They kind of like grow on you over
I've got a
time.
really good recipe for a chocolate like mousse.
With avocado.
Made out of avocado.
So dark chocolate.
And it's well good.
You have to share it. Let's put it on the pod. So yeah, if you can literally, you can get cinnamon teas. If you don't like cinnamon, you can have it in a tea. All those look like little bits.
I
I
put
don't
the cinnamon.
separate eggs, but
Sometimes with the but sometimes with the lemon water, I'll put cinnamon.
oh yeah.
It's actually you get a different texture.
Oh, I should try it. If I have to start vomiting at 6 in the morning, well then you'll be in trouble. I've got a hitbox tomorrow. Sarah, what would you try? You're not an avo fan, I can tell.
Not avocado, I hate avocado. Lemon beans.
Would you have like guacamole?
No.
No, because
No.
guacamole is basically avocado, but sometimes people like it more when it's like smashed up and with other stuff.
No.
So you could have it with like chili or
The
something.
lemon would be so easy to pop into your drink, isn't it?
Yeah,
Dot.
easy. Next time we're in Aldi, buy some lemons. Boom.
What would even lemon out of a bottle work? Would it be fresh?
I would check that it's as concentrated as possible. So basically, that it's pure. It's the same principle as squeezing orange into your water or having orange juice, I suppose. Like, as long as it's like 100% lemon juice, then you'll be fine. Yeah. Just don't go crazy with it because you're like, whoa. Loads of like 10 drops in it or something. That'd be great. Sasha, can you try anything?
I tried both. I do both.
You do most of them anyway. So,
I have.
Alan.
Do you know what? I don't have avocado very often, but I do actually like it. So maybe I just need to buy it a little bit.
The thing that put me off avocado until I was reading about this is the fat. But actually, you can leave it in its thing. So once you cut it open and you split it, you can leave it in its thingamabob and then wrap it, or you can take it all out in one go and then pop it up. So it is a little bit of fat. You could people get them avo hands, have you seen them? You know, because you whack the pig with a knife, like, it's an actual thing where loads of people are like, so be careful, disclaimer, don't go like whacking a knife into the pig and going through it. Yeah, Elle? Alan said does most of them already, it's just you. Could you do one? Could you do a little bit when you do food shop next week? I'm not talking about tonight. You have a lemon. Right, boom, and that's it. And if you just do one thing for this seminar, then I'll be happy.
I'm gonna try and flush.
Yeah, don't go anywhere when you do it.
That doesn't have any effect on me.
Does it not? Yeah, but if you're having these things often, the chances are that it won't. It's like when people say that to improve your bowel movement, if you have coffee, it's great. And I'm like, that would do no for me. But I have like coffee in the so I have like 5 or 6 coffees a day. I need to be having 10 for it to have some kind of effect on me, do you know what I mean? So actually it depends on how much you're having that kind of stuff anyway. So you might have it and be like, whoa, dude, okay.
Some people do flax seeds.
Yeah, Bill Lewis told me about that. I've never tried it.
Oh, I've got something.
So, don't be doing it all at once. Do you know what though? When I was reading about it being 12 kilograms or whatever it is, I was like, So what I can do is I can sort this out. You'll tell me how it's 12 kilograms lighter. Like, sign me up. Like, cancel my gym membership. Is that all I've got to do? To get things, you can actually get, is it colonoscopy?
Yes, about
When you start with that water, before you make that quick up.
No, you drink it. No, you drink it.
Matt keeps saying I'm colonic.
Come on.
Wash your arsehole out there.
Oh, lovely.
Squirts up and it pushes all the bits out off your little.
Oh my god, this is taking a turn.
No, inside, in your inside, you have that little wiggly fingery bits, don't you, like that, and stuff gets trapped. Yeah, stuff gets trapped in it. So it pushes it all out.
It's meant to be good, but if you do it too much, it takes away a lot of your good bacteria. You've got to be careful how much you do it. You've got good bacteria.
I'm glad you said that, Sarah, because I'm going to start doing them daily. Oh my god,
You
okay.
go, if you go somewhere, someone does it for you, you can't do it.
can't just get close by.
No.
Shower us, get the bee there. Oh my god. Well, there you get, do you know what? We're all learning.
You never heard of it?
I've never heard that.
Oh, you need to start reading,
Sam
Sarah.
does it. I'm
Long you tell Kyle to cut this last 10 minutes off this video. Jesus.
It's like a nose pipe with a shaped thing on end and you put it up your.
It actually goes in you.
Yeah.
It's the water in.
No.
No thanks.
Set the par
What the hell? Have you heard of this? You have?
And then they pour it in. It's meant to be really
You get it with
good,
coffee as well. They do coffee ones.
I mean, that's really not
It's the
sorry
way
to
they
me. Just because I love coffee. Get some coffee on your bum. Oh my god. Right. Any more questions?
Only other one is after a run, and it'd be part of the rehydration. I do the lemon and salt.
Which one? Exercise.
So coming to exercise, after I've come back from my run, I basically, to rehydrate, I take on lemon and salt, especially after a long run.
Oh, cool. Do you run fasted?
Not anymore.
No. If you were going to run fasted, then you would have the same principle, wouldn't you? It would